FY21 earnings conference call of Balaji Mines Limited. We have with us today Mr. Ram Reddy, promoter at Balaji Mines Limited. We request the management for opening remarks, post which we will open the floor for Q&A.
Thank you, Arnab. My name is Ram Reddy, Managing Director, Balaji Mines Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you and welcome to the conference call to discuss the financial performance of the Q4 and FY21 performance of our company, Balaji Mines Limited. We are all going through truly unprecedented times, and I hope that you and your families are safe and healthy. I hope you have got a chance to go through the press release and the financial statements submitted to the stock exchanges and uploaded on our website. First, kindly let me take you through the standalone financial and operational performance. We recorded a 58% growth in total revenue, which stood at rupees 377 crore in Q4 FY21 as against rupees 238 crore in the corresponding quarter of previous year. EBITDA was up by 103%, which came in at rupees 114 crore in Q4 FY21 as compared to rupees 56 crore in the same period last year, with EBITDA margin at 30.3% in Q4 FY21 as compared to 23.6% in the same period last year. The increase in EBITDA margin was primarily on account of improved demand and price realizations across most of the product portfolio, leading to much improved operating leverage. Profit after tax recorded an increase of 145% at rupees 79 crore in the current quarter under review as against rupees 32 crore in Q4 FY20. PAT margin stood at 21% in Q4 FY21 as against to 13.6% in Q4 FY20. Diluted EPS for Q4 FY21 stood at rupees 24.45 per equity share as compared to rupees 9.98 per equity share in Q4 FY20. Volume uptake would have been better, but it was adversely affected on account of pandemic-related disruptions of both inbound and outbound logistic support, as well as lack of adequate supply of industrial oxygen resulted in lower than optimal production. Total volume stood at 24,878 metric tons for Q4 FY21, up by 12% as against 22,146 MT in Q4 FY20. For Q4 FY21, amines volume stood at 4,529 metric tons. Amines derivatives volume stood at 9,852 metric tons. Specialty chemicals volume stood at 10,497 metric tons. Coming to our standalone performance for FY21, revenue from operations in FY21 was up to 33% at rupees 1,240 crore as compared to rupees 929 crore in FY20. EBITDA witnessed a growth of 78% from rupees 190 crore in FY20 to 339 crore in FY21. Our EBITDA margin expanded by 686 basis points to 27.3% from 20.5% in FY20. And PAT for FY21 witnessed a jump of 104% to rupees 232 crore from rupees 114 crore in FY20. Diluted EPS for FY21 stood at rupees 71.52 as against rupees 35.11 per equity share in FY20. Total volume stood at 94,687 metric ton for FY21 as against 84,832 metric ton in FY20. For FY21, amines volume stood at 18,728 metric ton. Amines derivative volumes stood at 38,857 metric tons. Specialty chemicals volumes stood at 37,102 metric tons. I would like to add that currently we are a zero debt company on standalone basis. Now coming to your consolidated performance for FY21. Revenue from operations for FY21 stood at rupees 1,318 crore, up by 40% as compared to rupees 941 crore in FY20. EBITDA for FY21 recorded a jump of 104% from rupees 186 crore in FY20 to rupees 379 crore in FY21. EBITDA margin for FY21 was at 28.8% as against 19.8% in FY20. PAT for FY21 was up by 150% from rupees 97 crore in FY20 to rupees 244 crore in FY21. Diluted EPS for FY21 stood at rupees 73.52 as against rupees 32.34 per equity share in FY20. Our subsidiary company, Balaji Specialty Chemicals Private Limited, witnessed substantial ramp up in capacity utilization due to increase in demand for ethylene diamine (EDA). The company is currently manufacturing 1,300 to 1,500 tons per month, which will be further ramped up going forward once the supply of raw material eases. We are also exporting few of our products manufactured by our subsidiary to China, which previously used to get dumped in India. With commencement of operations at our state-of-art new plant of ethylamines, which is part of the phase 1 of our 90-acre greenfield project, Unit 4 at Solapur, the company has the largest installed capacity of ethylamines in India at 22,500 tons per annum. With the commencement of this plant, Balaji Amines is the largest manufacturer of methylamine, ethylamine and other chemicals in India. The new plant of ethylamine at Unit 4 will lead to lower cost of production due to new technology. Demand for ethylamines is growing between 10 to 15% per annum in India. In FY22, we expect a decent revenue inflow from our new ethylamines plant. Presently, there is supply shortfall of about 9,000 tons of ethylamines in India, which is imported from outside. This supply gap is expected to increase to about 15,000 tons in the next 2 years. Our company will be well positioned to address this increase in market demand. The debottlenecking of our acetonitrile plant has been delayed on account of lack of skilled manpower due to pandemic-led restrictions. However, the construction of new plant for dimethyl carbonate is in phase 1 of Greenfield Project Unit 4 is undergoing as envisaged, and we hope to commence production of DMC by the end of FY22. Till 31st March 2021, we have undertaken a total capex of rupees 156 crore in phase 1 of our Greenfield project, and further rupees 69 crore would be invested in installation of DMC plant. In the fourth quarter of FY21, the capacity utilization of DMF plant was much improved at about 48%. However, from mid-April onwards, due to diversion of oxygen supply, our DMF production was briefly disrupted. However, from today morning onwards, the production of DMF has restarted as supply of industrial oxygen has been restored. Methylamines is a key raw material and the base product for value-added derivatives required by pharmaceutical and agrochemical companies. We are currently the market leader in methylamines production in India, and 80% of our methylamines production is captively used for manufacturing value-added products. Pharmaceutical application segment and agrochemicals are expected to drive significant demand for methylamines in India as well as global markets. As announced earlier, to meet our increasing captive requirements, we plan to set up a separate plant for methylamine with a capacity of 40,000 to 50,000 tons per annum under phase 2 expansion of Greenfield project under project unit 4, for which the company has already received environmental clearances. We anticipate the commissioning of this plant by end of 2022. That's all from our side. We now leave the floor open for question and answer.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1 now. The first question is from the line of Pritesh Chheda from Lucky Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir, and congratulations for a good set of numbers. So my first question is, DMF realization had shot up a lot in the market in the quarter gone by, and there was some 3x to 4x rise. But when I see the QOQ improvement in your EBITDA profitability, it hasn't flowed in. So any reason for it? Or any other product where the realization has actually gone down?
See, the raw material prices for acetonitrile has gone up. Actually, when we talked last quarter, the RM prices were somewhere 50 to 60 rupees, that is acetic acid. And entire quarter 4, the price was rolled more than 80 to 100, 110 rupees. So that has impacted to some extent. And I don't know where from you got this DMF prices. DMF prices are rolled somewhere 150 to 160 rupees. Even today also, they are selling at 150, 160 rupees.
Okay. My second question is, sir, what should be a good volume assumption for FY22, considering the ethylamine plant now becoming operational and DMF capacity can be fully utilized? And now you have postponement of acetonitrile capacity ramp up. So what should be a good volume versus 95,000 ton that you have done in FY21?
There should be at least 10% minimum conservative basis. About 10,000 tons should be added without any problem.
Okay. We have 16,000 additional ethylamine, and can we fully utilize the DMF?
In first year operation, we can't expect it. If it goes well, yes, 16,000 can be added, and to some extent DMF is also added. And that's what I'm telling you. Conservative basis, we can take 10 to 12,000 tons volumes can be added. And because of this pandemic, as I said, in April there was some disruption in the DMF for some period, maybe 15-20 days. DMF could not operate because of the oxygen diversion to the healthcare.
Okay. And so just one last question on the capex side. The CWIP of 173 crore now that we see, this would include the acetonitrile CWIP, and will it also include the ethylamine CWIP?
Yes.
And this methylamine capacity, which will get constructed incrementally, will come in CWIP, right?
Yes.
And methyl carbonate is a derivative of methylamine. No. So what would be the capacity that you will add in methyl carbonate and the capex there? And what is the capex for this methylamine 40,000 ton capacity?
See, that is too early to say about methylamine, but I can say the DMC is about 70-72 crores will go for this dimethyl carbonate. And we are originally we were talking about the 10,000 tons. It may go between 10 to 15,000 tons when we work on practical basis.
Okay. And methylamine 40,000 ton capacity, when should it come in your opinion?
It should come end of 2022. We should start finishing. Maybe 2023 you can see the revenues from that.
So this year you will construct.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. This is the conference operator. I would request you to rejoin the queue for follow-up questions.
I'll finish the conversation, then in any case I do not have a question. So you'll construct this year and the capacity will be available in 23.
Yes.
Okay.
See, the construction may be finished at the end of the year.
Okay. And you're spending about 250 crores there, right?
Yeah, we can give the exact figure in the coming quarters.
No problem, sir. Thank you very much and all the best to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please limit your questions to 2 per participant. Should you have a follow-up question, would request you to rejoin the queue. The next question is from the line of Rajesh Kothari from Alpha Accurate Advisors. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Congratulations for a great set of numbers.
Thank you.
Sir, my 2 questions are, first is, what is the total capex for FY22 and FY23 year-wise?
See, FY22 only we left this DMC, majority about 70-75 crores. Some part of other like methylamines what we are talking today, some part may be spent in this year. But that I will give you the figures, exact figures in the coming quarter.
Okay, so broadly, DMC 70-75 crores and methylamine capex of 250, so something like that.
Maybe
Broadly.
250, but we are going to spend maybe part of the thing in this current year.
Okay, because you said that plant will start by end of the year. The plant construction will get over.
23. It will be finishing will be 22, and the revenues will come in the 23.
Correct. So it means that entire capex has to be spent in 22, right?
22 and part 23 also.
Part, a very small would be 23. Okay. And my second question is, with your, in terms of the backward integration and also in terms of the, you mentioned about the technology and the change in cost. Can you just explain a little bit on that how do you see the, more value-added products, number one, at the overall company level, and in terms of the cost, what kind of reduction you are looking for?
See, while designing, we have designed some new technology we are using. This is only 7 days. 7-8 days past, I think we have started the plant of this new plant of 50 tons per day. We will see, definitely there will be some cost advantage because it's the reason we spent more money on the new technology. So probably by next quarter you will see the exact figures, what will be cost advantage. Definitely there will be some edge over the existing technology.
Okay, and my last question is on subsidiary. How do you see the ramp up over there over next 12-24 months?
12-24 is visibility is a little difficult in the current scenario, but yes, what I can see the next 2 quarters, definitely it will ramp up in very good position. Like today we are talking about 13 to 1500. It should go to more than 1800 to 2000 tons in the coming quarters per month.
Oh, okay, great. Fine, sir. Wish you all the best. I'll come back in queue.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rohit Natraj from Sunidhi Securities. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity and congratulations on a good set of numbers. So the first question is on the raw material side. So how are we foreseeing the raw material availability given that there have been issues in terms of the container availability, transportation costs are going up, and how has been the pricing, and whether we have been able to pass it on completely during the last quarter or is it still under progress? Thank you so much.
See, overall, unlike last year, this year the volatility is little less. Last year we used to see for example, methanol, we used to see the prices between 18 rupees to 30 rupees, the big volatility. Currently, we have seen only between 26 to 30 rupees. There's a 4 or 5 rupees only, which can be passed easily to the customers. And second thing, since the products are in the short supply, all the products are in the short supply, it is easy to pass on to the customers. We don't see any problem. And third thing, yes, there is some disruption in the logistics, inbound logistics, and even outgoing also. We are facing some problems specifically for the overseas logistics, because all the shipping lines are not working on the schedule. So for which we are forced to plan little more advanced, unlike earlier years. So with the advanced planning, we should be on the track. Only one or two products like subsidiary, we were facing some problem in shortage of raw material for the last quarter and last month also. And this month onwards, probably we will get everything is streamlined. So the reason I'm telling you, then it will be ramping up more than 1,500 tons.
Yeah, fair enough. Understood. So the second question in terms of the margin profile. So as I understand that we have amines, then amine derivatives and specialty other chemicals. So generally, if we take amines as a base and margins of, let's say, 15%, what is the kind of incremental value addition that happens in derivatives and specialty chemicals? And I'm ignoring the current price increases which have happened because of demand-supply mismatch. Under the normal circumstances, how does the margin profile for each of these three product segments would look like? Thank you.
As I said earlier also, we have a basket of products. It's very difficult to say which product is at what percentage. But overall, I can say the current 27%, I think EBITDA is there for the on overall year basis, 27.31 EBITDA is there. I think we should be sustainable around 24 to 25% is easily sustainable for this margins.
Sure. Thank you so much and best of luck.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kunal from Valum India Discovery Fund. Please go ahead.
So thank you very much for the opportunity. So I wanted to understand regarding the dimethyl formamide. So until the methylamine plant new capacity comes on stream, how much capacity can we go to maximum in terms of utilization of this plant for dimethyl formamide?
I think we should go to more than 75%. Around 20,000 tons, 22,000 tons we should. If everything goes well, availability of the oxygen, availability of the CPC, raw metals, and availability of the market. Go.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Kunal. There's a slight disturbance coming from your line. And I would request you to speak a bit louder, sir. We can't hear you.
Yeah, Kunal, it should be maybe 22,000 tons per annum, if everything goes well.
Understood, sir. Understood. And the second question, sir, is regarding this new ethylamine capacity. So are we going to sell the ethylamine directly in the market in terms of monoditri? Are we going to sell all three of them in the market? Or are we going to, turn them into derivatives and then sell the higher value addition products in the market?
Majority of the ethylamines will be selling in the market. There is no derivative because existing capacity is already using for the derivatives. Here we did not add any derivatives.
Okay. And so how much realization can we assume on an average basis right now based on the prices of ethylamine and derivative, the whole basket? How much can we assume on an average basis?
This new plant, Unit 4, Greenfield, 60,500 capacity, goes well in full swing. We, in the current pricing basis, we should be in a position to do about 300 crores to add to the top line.
Okay, so you're talking about the full 15,000 tons capacity.
Yes.
15 plus, or you're talking about the 22,000 ton capacity full, including the existing capacity or only this plant?
Additional capacity.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir. Got it. Thank you, sir. All the best.
Welcome.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sachin Kasera from Swan Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir, and congratulations for a very good set of numbers. Regarding the subsidiaries, sir, can you give us some sense? You mentioned that you're adding some new products there. So what is the potential there? And when you're talking of this improvement in volumes next 2 quarters, that is including these volumes, and will there be further improvement in the margin profile of the subsidiary this year?
See, subsidiary, we are not adding anything. We have sufficient capacity. We have more than 35,000 tons capacity, all products put together. Main product is EDA, and then Piperazine, then Data, then AWA. So all the products are moving, there's no problem. Yes, the margin, there's a possibility of the improving if we get the sufficient raw material at the reasonable prices. We should be in a position to improve margins.
Okay. And sir, on the DMF expansion, have you indicated any figure approximately how much we could spend? And also, now that oxygen is available, if there are no further issues as far as technical factors are concerned, can you operate at 75% utilization in 2-3 months?
That's what I answered by the earlier question. See, we can do more, total 30,000 tons capacity is there. If everything goes well, we can operate at 20, 25, 22,000 tons per annum of DMF can be produced.
And what will be the cost of the 30,000 ton new expansion, sir?
It's too early because first the methylamine will come, then it may be after 2023 the new capacity we can talk.
Just one last small question on the LED this lighting business. Sir, can you give us some update? What is the status there?
Which one you said? Can you repeat?
The lighting business.
You're talking about Green Tech? CFL lamps you're talking?
Yeah, CFL, yeah.
So that totally we have stopped, no operations are there. Only that property has been given on rent, where they are getting some 9 lakhs per month. Rent is coming, which will add into the margins.
But so this quarter also there is some loss of around 2 crores. So will this come down further? Will it become zero from Q1, Q2? How do we see that?
There should not be any losses. The 2 crores only because on account of stocks. We have very small stocks. I think probably another 1 or 2 crores stock is there. So whenever we sell, if it is going lower price than the estimated, then that is adding into the losses. Future, we have only some 2 crores something. 70, sorry, it is only 70 lakhs we left now. Okay. So there will not be any losses. The 70 lakhs will be selling in the coming quarters, so it will be zero.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Swarnam Mukherjee from Edelweiss Wealth Research. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity and congratulations on a great set of numbers, sir. So my first question is on the EBITDA margin at a blended level. So you had guided about a 24-25% sustainable margin. So I just wanted to understand, sir, with this new ethylamine capacity that has come up, and given that this is a base amine product and not a derivative, so in terms of maybe margin profile, it might be slightly on the lower side. Is that understanding of mine correct, or is it also generating margins at a company level right now?
See, today, if you see the total year, it is 27.31. If you see my last quarter's answers, I used to say only 22%.
Right.
Today I am talking 24, 25 because of this new capacities addition and plants operating at higher capacities. All these things are being considered while saying this 24 to 25%.
Okay, sir. Okay, so this could be the blended margin going forward. Sir, would you be able to, would you kindly throw some light on, how the prices are for base ethylamines and methylamines? I mean, I think it is elevated now. So what would be generally the normal range and where it is now?
The last 1 year we have seen the prices between the 250 to 270 rupees. Even if it goes down because of the new capacities or because of the availability, it may come down to somewhere 225 to something. Then considering all these things, I have given these figures. Hello? Swarnab?
Sir, the line from Mr. Swarnab got disconnected, sir. I'm just calling in.
Yeah. Take next person.
Yes, sir. The next question is from the line of Puneet Mittal from Global Core Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Reddy, and congratulations for a really good set of numbers. All your hard work has been now fructifying, so congratulations. Sir, first one is a clarification. Your trade payables, if I look at your cash flow statement, your trade payables are listed under cash flow for investing rather than cash flow from operations, or rather financing, rather than cash flow from operations. Can you explain us why it's not listed under cash flow from operations?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sorry, your trade payables is listed under cash flow from financing rather than cash flow from from operations.
Specialty grade.
Normally, the trade payables should be under CFO. So this undermines the real cash flow from operations that you have. So I will
get back to you. Why. You can send me your mail ID. I will give the detailed answer for this. I do not have it handy, but I'll definitely send back to you. I'm noting your
no problem.
You just send me your mail ID. Okay?
I will. The second question is, does any of the chemicals that we manufacture goes directly or indirectly into the manufacture of COVID vaccines or the PCR tests?
Yes, because I have also seen, if you see the ingredient of the Covishield, Covaxin, Sputnik, all the three, you will see there is a content of EDTA, acetic acid, something is there. That EDTA is produced out of EDA, which is the product of subsidiary. So there may be small content is going, but it is going.
Okay. Great. The last question is that your production, you mentioned that there is some constraint on the raw material supplies. Can you tell us what materials are these that you are having a supply issue?
That is monoethanolamine. We are importing from the 4 or 5 countries, different countries. What has happened in last 4 or 5 months, there was a short supply of EO in the world market, ethylene oxide. That monoethanolamine is produced out of EO and ammonia. So there was short supply. That's the reason it has happened. And there was one big capacity was down due to some accident from the Malaysia. So that is coming in the line in this month. Probably in the June it is coming in the line. So from this month onwards, everything should be in the online.
Okay, very good. That's all from me. Thank you again, and all the very best.
Thank you, Puneet. You send your mail ID, okay?
I have your email ID, so I'll send you a mail to you, sir.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Abhinav Shahu from MC Research. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hi. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hi. So a couple of questions, sir. One is regarding Balaji Specialty, wherein we have ramped up our production for ethylene diamine, which is now more than 40%. So my question, you I think briefly discussed about the raw material challenges on this front. I had a question more on the whether the production which we have for ethylene diamine, is it mainly for domestic consumption right now, or some part is also going for export market?
It's going to export also. See, presently it is in short supply all over world. Since it is more demand in the country, last quarter we have sent a lot of exports. Lot of quantities we have shipped out of the country. But this month we are just taking care of the domestic customers, and we have earmarked some quantities to export market also.
Okay. And regarding our other products from the subsidiary, what is the status of Piperazine and Data right now?
Both are in short supply. Both are doing very well.
So, could you update on the volume front? I mean, how much we are able to produce?
We produced 5 to 6 tons per day. Both around between 5 to 6 tons data, diethylamine and piperazine. And the other one is some 2 to 3 tons is AWEA and some 3 to 400 kg of AEP. Except AEP, all the products are moving. There is no stock, only few, maybe 5 to 10 days stock must be there. So everything is moving day to day.
Okay. And so, my last question is on the export front. If you could share what is the share of export for last quarter, and any guidance you have on the export front, how much that share can change in time to come?
See, there was a challenging in the logistics during the last 6 months. There was a biggest challenge in the shipping lines, but still we have done about 185 crores entire year. I'm talking about the Balaji Amines.
Okay. Sorry. Hello.
So just give me a minute.
Sure.
So the line for the management is disconnected. Kindly stay on line till I reconnect him.
તમે જે વ્યક્તિ સાથે વાત કરી રહ્યા છો એમને તમારા કોલને હોલ્ડ પર રાખ્યો છે. કૃપા કરીને લાइन पर रहो. आप जिस व्यक्ति से बात कर रहे हैं उसने आपकी कॉल को होल्ड पर रखा है. कृपया लाइन पर बने रहें. The person you are speaking with has put your call on hold. Please stay on the line. તમે જે વ્યક્તિ સાથે વાત કરી રહ્યા છો એમને તમારા કોલને હોલ્ડ પર રાખ્યો છે. કૃપા કરીને લાइन પર રહો. आप
Ladies and gentlemen, the line for the management is reconnected. Thank you, and over to you, sir. Hello, sir. Mr. Reddy?
Yes.
Yes, sir. So, you are in the main call, sir. We have Mr. Abhinav Sahu in the question queue.
Yeah. So you were updating us on the export front. How much is the share?
These shipping logistics, overseas logistics has improved. Then definitely there will be 5 to 7% improvement will be there in the coming years.
Okay. That's all from my side. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dhruvam from HDFC Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sir, 2 questions. First was on the ethylamines. So the capacities, I was reading your press. So you say that imports are about 10,000 odd tons in India. Our capacity expansion is about 16,000 odd. And if I'm not wrong, I was reading a few industry reports. A few of your competitors are also expanding the ethyl capacity. So do you see a risk of oversupply, or is there a potential to export this surplus?
No, I don't see, because
What we have seen, there is about 700 to 800 tons minimum was the importing at the country. That is the number one. And number two, we have some of the export orders inquiries also. And number three, these capacities are created looking into the next 5 years demand. So there is a demand of 5 to 10, minimum 10% demand is coming in for this product. So over a period of time, in fact, it will be the next 5 6 years it will be occupied, and it will be again the demand for the new capacity creation.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Reddy, sir. I would request you to speak a bit louder, sir.
I got that. So just to further on this, I understand over a period of time the demand will grow given agro and pharma is growing in India. If I'm not wrong, this goes into those sticky products. But in the interim, could it create some pressure in the market? I was just trying to understand, is this easily exportable? I believe methyls are not, so just wanted to confirm that.
Yeah, we are exporting actually. Now also we are exporting some small quantity. Few containers we are exporting. And second thing, Mr. Dhruv, what I want to say is, any new molecule, now I am talking last 15 days to 3 to 4 weeks, I am hearing a lot of new molecules talking for the treatment for the COVID. All these molecules are involved with this ethylamine. So a lot of new molecules are coming. Definitely there will be demand, and in coming 4 5 years, this will be all the capacity will be utilized, and there will be demand for the new capacity creation.
Okay, got it. So you mentioned new molecules for COVID, is it?
Yes. There's a product, I do not have the name in hand, but Cipla has declared one product. Okay. And for that product also, triethylamine is used.
Got it. So the second question was, I was looking at the volume numbers that you have published, and from an annual basis and even on the quarterly basis, if I look at the amines division, amines volumes, they are broadly flattish or marginal growth, but the growth is primarily coming from the specialty and the derivatives, and more so from the specialty segment on a YY and even on quarterly. So if you can throw some light, what's driving this? What are the key products there, and anything that...
If you carefully watch our earlier listing, most of our amines, methyl or ethyl, so far 80% of the amines are used captively. That's the reason we will see sale of ethylamine or methylamine sales growth is flat, because which is going for the all derivatives, intermediates using the methyl and ethyl and specialty chemicals. So now I think with this new capacity of ethylamine 16,500, we will see the growth in sales of ethylamine from here onwards.
Got it. And so what's okay? Probably I'll take that later. Got it, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
The next question is from the line of Kishan Gupta from CD Research. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Gupta.
Yeah, hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
Just want to understand, pandemic aside, how much do you think is your business scalable from your current revenues of some 1,300 crores?
See, I think I already answered. Basing on this current expansion in place, the current financial year, it should be more than 1,400 to 1,450 crores, conservative basis.
Will it be right to say that most of your growth which has come last year has been due to the pandemic?
No. So I might only say that it is because of the capacity utilizations. And we are patient to utilize higher capacities like 90-95% capacity utilized. There's the reason we will see all this growth. So for example, you will see the DMF. All the years we are talking about the DMF.
which was operating at 20%, 25, 30%. Last quarter, you see 38 to 39%. Even coming months also, I'm expecting it should go more than 60 to 70% capacity utilization.
So was it not because of the strong pharma demand, and that was somehow related to the COVID?
Yeah, pharma demand we can say, but you cannot say pandemic. It is because of the pharma. There are a lot of new companies are coming up, a lot of new molecules are coming up. If you understand properly about the amines use, any new molecule coming up, any new molecule, at least one or two products from our basket will be going for that. So that is the strength of the company.
Okay. And you talked about this, your largest capacities in methylamines and ethylamines. So what sort of competitive advantage it is giving you compared to other players?
See, the new plant of ethylamines, which we just commenced few days back, we used some new technology.
તમે જે વ્યક્તિ સાથે વાત કરી રહ્યા છો એમને તમારા કોલને હોલ્ડ પર રાખ્યો છે. कृपया करिए लाइन पर रहो. आप जिस व्यक्ति से बात कर रहे हैं उसने आपकी कॉल को होल्ड पर रखा है. कृपया लाइन पर बने रहें. The person you are speaking with has put your call on hold. Please stay on the line. તમે જે વ્યક્તિ સાથે વાત કરી રહ્યા છો એમને તમારા કોલને હોલ્ડ પર રાખ્યો છે. कृपया करिए लाइन पर रहो. आप जिस व्यक्ति से बात कर रहे हैं उसने आपकी कॉल को होल्ड पर रखा है. कृपया लाइन पर बने रहें.
Yes, so you may go ahead with the question.
Yeah,
Mr. Gupta.
so about this competitive advantage you were talking about.
See, I was talking about the new technology we use for the ethylamine. We just started. Probably you will see in the next quarter what is the advantage we have, what is the cost impact on this new technology, what is the cost advantage. All these things we will come to understand when we do the working practically at least a month. So when you run the full capacity, there will be the advantage of the raw material utilization and the overhead utilization. All these things are coming in. There's a reason we will see the last few quarters we are seeing the margin up.
So and what about this technology? So where
Mr. Chandra, I would request you to rejoin the queue for follow-up questions.
So it's a related question.
Yes.
So this technology. So
no, I'm sorry, I cannot tell this.
Is it indigenously developed or?
It is maybe whatever. Maybe it is little difficult to.
Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. Okay.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashwin Reddy from Samartha Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity and congratulations for a very strong set of numbers.
Yes, Ashwin, go ahead.
So I just wanted to get some more clarity on the margin guidance, given that historically we've been guiding for 18 to 20% kind of a margin guidance. So historically we've been giving a margin guidance of around 18 to 22%. That has been the range. Yes. Now, when we're giving a guidance of around 25 to 26%, I just wanted to understand the drivers behind the same. Is it because of the latest pricing that you expect to continue, or what is the reason for giving a higher?
I was referring about EBITDA, Mr. Ashwin. See, we are currently to 7.31 EBITDA, which will be sustainable around 24 to 25% of the EBITDA are sustainable. These are the guidance. Yeah.
Correct. So is it only for this year, or is it like a new normal for the company? What is the
normal? See, all the years I used to say earlier here, if you see my answer, I used to say 22% was the sustainable. Correct. Because of this higher capacity utilization, because of the debottlenecking and many things have happened, and fine-tuning of the technologies, all these things, confidently I'm in a position to tell today the 24 to 25% is a sustainable from the earlier 20-22%.
Okay, no, great to know that. Yes. And on the export front, I am aware, you had mentioned about the container issue and the lack of, and the logistical challenges which you face. So these issues aside, has there been any increase in inquiries or anything that you can talk about in terms of?
Yes, we have orders in pipeline, which are most of the orders not been catered in time, which has been known fact for every customer all over the world. So we expect in the coming months, we are seeing little improvement in the logistics. So if that goes, as I said, it should be between 5 to 7% increase must be there in the coming quarters.
Okay, and but there is 2-3 years down the line, in terms of exports as a contribution to overall sales, what would be a rough number that we can look at? What is, or how do you see it panning out in 2-3 years the export opportunity?
See, what I am telling you, I think we have done 17% of the total sales, 6 to 17 to 18. We have a dream, a target. We should do 30% is our target.
In what time frame? In next 3 years?
Sales, we should reach, our target is to reach 30% of the total revenue should be from the outside country. And this I am expecting to reach slowly not in this year, maybe in the coming 1 or 2 years, we should touch this 30% of the total revenue.
Understood. And the margin here is
I would request you to rejoin the queue for follow-up questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please limit your questions to one per participant. The next question is from the line of Rajiv Rupani, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, congratulations, Mr. Reddy, on a good set of numbers. Sir, I have a question. Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question on ACN. Now, this process of bottlenecking, by when does it happen, and by when do we expect to ramp up to 18 to 20 tons?
I think finally this quarter we should complete.
Okay. And a follow-up question. And sir, one more question. Earlier you talked about the product called THF. So any update on that?
See, that I spoke to you, if this doesn't work, we should go for the THF because we have the dry plant. Present ACN can be produced THF also. Now ACN itself is busy. So that's the reason we are not doing any trial. Maybe in the coming future, if we go for a new plant, if we go for any new capacities, and that time we may look for that.
Okay, and what are the current prices for ACN?
Mr. Rupani, sir, I would request you to rejoin the queue, sir. We have
275.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sachin Kasera from Swan Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for taking my follow-up question. Just two small things. One, your presentation mentions that after phase 1, the revenue will go by 50%. So is my understanding correct that this ethylamine and DMC will add approximately 600 crore to your revenues at full capacity utilization?
With the current prices, it should go 400 plus 100. It should go around 500 crores, 4 to 500 crores. And we might have given, assuming this DMF also will go another 20-25% capacity increase, which is currently 48%, which we are talking today. If everything goes well, should go more than 75%.
Okay. And so second question is on subsidiary. You had indicated in the past that once the subsidiary starts to stabilize, we may look positively in terms of merging that company with the parent company.
Yes, so definitely. That will be done.
Performance and any thoughts on that?
Maybe in the coming quarter or maybe coming year, we'll work out, and with the coming period we'll be doing it.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Abhay Malhotra from Sanmati Consultant. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Ram Reddy sir. Congratulations for the good set of numbers. Sir, I have two questions. One, when we can expect the acetonitrile capacity to be enhanced from 9 ton per day to 18 ton per day?
I don't think it is 18 ton yet. Maybe 16 tons. This quarter we are expecting. See, we were trying all these days because the market was not allowing. And now what has happened for doing this debottlenecking, we are just struggling for the skilled manpower. Because of the pandemic, people are not willing to travel. So probably during this quarter we will finish this. And maybe in the next quarter we will have capacities.
Okay, sir. What is the capacity utilization of our Balaji facilities? Only one question, madam, nothing more.
Sorry to interrupt.
Now we are doing 40%.
Only one question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amar Maurya from Alpha Accurate. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Amar, go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, one question. What is the capacity utilization of this newly expanded 1600 metric ton of ethyl? How much capacity utilization we should consider for the next year?
We should reach minimum 60 to 70%, I think, Mr. Amar. Minimum conservative basis. If everything goes well, like market allows to do it, there is no barriers to go even 80-90% also. But on conservative basis, I am expecting we should do a minimum 70%, 70-75%.
Okay. So, sir, if I see this, then I think we can easily do more than 15-16% kind of a volume growth, right? Next year?
Yes.
Got that. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thank you all. So now what I want to say is the growth in end user industries such as pharmaceutical, agrochemicals, paint and coating, personal care and home care is driving the demand of amines for the past few years. And this trend is going to get further inputs for the forthcoming years. Hello?